Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rob's Rogues. And I'm always not sure if it's the first beep or the second beep, but if it was the second beep, I probably got cut off. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rob's Rogues. As you can tell from the title here, this is Rob's Rogues. I have to read it right. Rob's Rogues Comic Update, June 2014. The last video I just put up was obviously the Rogue show, and we were talking about Batman Eternal and all of our action figure likes and dislikes and everything. And we, talking about Batman Eternal as we're celebrating Batman's 75th anniversary, and decided to do the Batman Eternal book as a whole for the group. It got me thinking about my other comic books, which I have kind of around me, and what I'm going to talk about here is just the update of kind of what I'm reading and why I'm reading it, and maybe why you should be reading it or not reading it. But I do get asked from time to time, what books am I reading in the New 52? Am I reading old stuff? I'm still reading old stuff. I'm hosting a Robin podcast, a Tim Drake, up here, this guy, Tim Drake Robin podcast called Robin Everyone Loves the Drake. It's hosted over at the BatmanUniverse.net. You can find me on iTunes. And then I don't have a Windows phone, but whatever Windows porthole you use to listen to podcasts, it's on there as well. So you can just look up Robin Everyone Loves the Drake. And that's in the old continuity. And currently I'm up to 9 episodes. I just finished Tim's parents being kidnapped in Haiti, and Tim's mother dying, and Tim's father being paralyzed. So that's kind of where I'm at right now in the life of Tim. The next 3 issues that I'll be talking about are going to be Tim finally putting on his Robin costume when he fights the Scarecrow. So that can let you know currently what I'm reading in old continuity with doing the podcast. A couple years ago, when, or maybe a year almost now, when the New 52 hit 2 years old, I did a New 52, kind of what I was thinking. And I think at one time I was on 13 books, and that was including a Young Justice title for the cartoon TV series that was in comic book form that's obviously has been canceled and isn't around anymore. And I was still reading the Batman Arkham Unhinged series, which was kind of like what was going on in Arkham City and kind of before this new game Arkham Knight, which is kind of sometimes be before Arkham Asylum, during Arkham Asylum, after Arkham City. So that whole, it was the whole Arkham universe. I think I actually stopped picking that up with the series. I think went 2 or 3 more issues after that, so I think I'm going to go back and pick that up. All that being said, the New 52 really brought me back into reading comic books, and I've done 2 of the Rob's reading rooms. I did for the Teen Titans. That series got canceled, although it's going to start back up in July, called the New Teen Titans, and then the canceled Nightwing book. So I think I may do a few more of those here or there, but like I said, with us doing Batman Eternal, it really started getting me thinking about the books that I'm reading and the books that I have a pile of here. That I have not read. This is a lot of books that I haven't read. So that's a nice Sunday reading here that's going to last me for a few months. So it did get me thinking about the amount of books I was buying in the New 52. And like I said, when the New 52 hit, I kind of went in whole hog. So I really enjoy the New 52, and I think we were talking about it on Rob's Rogues, that DC may bring back the old universe, or may bring it back along with the New 52, or kind of integrate things, or do a retcon in the New 52. Maybe that's why they've left, I can't find it, where it says, the New 52 up in the corner on this. It was to know, hey, this was a universe we had for a while, and then we're going back to the old. So it's, I know that would make some people really happy to go back to the old continuity. I'm torn. I'm liking some stuff in the New 52. Granted, there's stuff that I don't like in the New 52, so I think I would welcome either. But regardless of that, the New 52 brought me back into reading comics in a big, bad way, as opposed to just reading maybe the Batman title or the Tim Drake Robin title sporadically. That was the one I was the most faithful to and read at a pretty regular basis. The books that I am currently, if you go back to probably a year ago in Rob's Rogues, you can see all the books that I was reading. The books that I have dropped or were either canceled, I dropped the Batgirl series. As much as I like Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, I don't think Gail Simone has really found her voice for Batgirl, and I'm sure there's Gail Simone fans out there that are saying, we love Gail Simone's Batgirl. I think it's missing something, and I can't remember what issue it was that I dropped, but it was the Wanted storyline where Barbara has killed her brother while she was Batgirl, and Commissioner Gordon is trying to bring in Batgirl, and there's a kind of whole thing, is Barbara going to show Commissioner Gordon who she really is, and that whole thing, which that didn't end up happening. But I dropped Batgirl after that story. Usually, if I don't like a book, I'll try and stay on till the story arc is complete, so at least I have a completed story arc, rather than be, you know, 1 or 2 issues into it and say, oh, I dropped this book and I just couldn't stand it. And I have done that in the past, but generally, at least I'll get all of the issues for that story, which, anyway. But I dropped Batgirl. Nightwing was canceled, unfortunately. I really, really was enjoying Kyle Higgins' run on Nightwing. If you want to hear me talk more about the Nightwing series, you can go to Rob's Reading Room number 2, and I talk about the Nightwing series. Justice League America was canceled after the events of Forever Evil, and that's a whole other thing we could talk about, which that kind of turns into Justice League United, which I have right here. I only have 1 issue of Justice League United, and I'm kind of on the fence whether I want to continue reading it. Not that I don't like these characters. I think it would be pretty cool, especially if I think about dropping the Green Arrow book, which, again, I like. Jeff Lemire is writing this and Green Arrow. So at least I thought, well, if I drop Green Arrow, I can read Green Arrow in this book. So I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with this book. I only have 1 issue. I think they're up to issue 2 right now, maybe 3, but this is the 0 issue. But and then all the Forever Evil stuff that was going on, I bought those books. I think I had almost all the tie-ins. So it just in with the Forever Evil stuff and all of the Villains Month, there were a lot of books I was buying. But here's the rundown of books that I'm currently reading. I'm reading Batman, which right out of the gate, I absolutely loved this book. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are doing a fantastic job. This is issue 31, going into the 0 year, the final act, it's called. So after Scott Snyder gets done with this is kind of like the New 52's version of year 1. Scott Snyder will come back to present day and kind of what's going on in the Batman and Batman Eternal universe, as it were. But a really good series. If there's a Batman book to read, the Scott Snyder book is very, very good. I highly recommend it. A book that I considered another companion piece that, being a Robin fan, I had to have was the Batman and Robin title, although this one's called Batman and Aquaman. As, of course, we know Damian was killed off in the Grant Morrison Batman Eternal series. Batman Eternal, listen to me. Batman Incorporated. See, I've been in comics so long. The Batman Incorporated line. So this is the hunt for Robin, and this is going to be one of the new reading rooms that I will eventually do. So coming up next month in July, we will have the start of Robin Rises. So it's going to be bringing a Robin back. It could be Damian Wayne, it could be Tim, it could be Jason, it could be somebody completely brand new, so I'm kind of curious what they're going to do. But this was another book in the New 52 that I absolutely love. Tomasi and Gleason are just killing this one. I think this is kind of an unsung book in the New 52. If you haven't been reading the Batman and Robin series, I highly recommend it. So another series that I'm reading, obviously, is, if I can find it here, Batman Eternal. We've been talking about this on the Rogue Show. I think this is a really cool idea, having a weekly Batman book, and this is one I'm thoroughly enjoying. The artwork kind of goes back and forth between there's a good word for it, between who's writing it, but I do like this one quite a bit, and I think we haven't talked about issue 10. I think we went up to issue 8 on the Rogue Show, so we're behind by 2 issues. Another book that I've really been enjoying, if I can find it here, is Batman and Superman, written by Greg Pak. And this particular issue is written by Jeff Lemire, and it introduces the Atom into the New 52, not the Atomica, who we thought was the Atom. I always liked having a Superman book, and initially in the New 52, I did buy the main Superman book, and like I normally had said, I try to keep reading or at least buying a whole series until the arc is complete. Then I decide if I dropped it. I actually dropped that Superman after 2 issues. I don't think it was written very well. And then when this came out, I thought, hey, this was a good way to have a Superman book. So, and Batman's in it as well. And some of the issues are kind of hit and miss, but for the most part, this has really been a pretty good series. So it's another one that I have stayed on. Like I said, one that's going to be starting up is going to be the new Teen Titans. That's going to be in July. So obviously I don't have that one yet. That'll be a month from now. And that's my vehicle to keep reading Tim Drake, and I stayed on the Teen Titans book for so long, all the way through the very end, written by Scott Lobdell, and Scott did some really wonky stuff in with the Teen Titans and really kind of lobotomized Tim Drake. So I'm hoping the new writing team will kind of reset some things for Tim Drake, and would love to see Tim get his Red Robin series back, which I think would be absolutely fantastic. The Justice League was another book that I was really enjoying, that I remember as a kid, wanting to pick up Batman and Wonder Woman and Superman and Green Lantern, and my mom was really smart and says, hey, well, why don't you pick up a Justice League or Justice League America at the time, and then you can read Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. So I thought this was a nice way to be able to read all my favorite heroes all in one book and not have to buy all these other books. So again, I thought, oh, great, I can read Superman in a book, but in this current issue that's the most recent, Lex Luthor and Captain Cold are in the Justice League now, and Superman and the Flash have decided, well, if these two are going to be in the Justice League, we want no part of the Justice League. So it's really kind of cool to see how Lex Luthor is actually going to be like the leader of the Justice League. So that's really been pretty interesting. I think the next Justice League book should be coming out in a week or so, if I remember correctly. And then one of the last books that I'm reading, I'm make sure I try to find it here, is Future's End, the other weekly series, if I can say that right. And I do believe there's going to be a 3rd weekly series coming out. And I am actually about 5 issues behind in reading this. I have not read this current one right here where we have a dead Red Robin. You have to read to find out. I kind of already know what happens in this because I kind of thumbed through it. Being a Tim Drake Red Robin fan, I wanted to find out, did Tim actually die? Is he dead? You have to read it and find out. So I'm a few issues behind in this, which brings me to one of the last points. So that's quite a few books here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that I'm currently reading, and I'm still picking up 8, 9, 10. I have 10 books total. 3 other books that I'm currently reading, and the stack that you saw here, if I remove the Future's End, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 books behind. If I set these off to the side, apologize there real quick. The other books that are in this stack are books that I have not read yet, and that started telling me something. As much as I'm enjoying reading all these other books, and with playing in a band and then doing a podcast, reviewing action figures, and then just leading a normal life and going shopping with the wife, taking vacations, and doing all that kind of stuff, there are some books that are suffering in my collection that I haven't read, which starts making me realize, I mean, count however many books is here, I don't know, 15, 20 almost, that let's just say, for argument's sake, there's 20 books I haven't read. Am I really missing anything if I haven't read them? I like the characters in these books, Green Arrow being one of them. Jeff Lemire, I think, should have been writing Green Arrow from the very beginning of the New 52. Ann Nocenti was writing Green Arrow. It was absolutely horrible. I stayed on for 6 issues. Again, it was right around the time of Arrow, so I liked the Arrow TV series. I've always liked Green Arrow as a character. It's not like I'm a bandwagon fan. It's like, oh, I like Green Arrow now because of the Arrow TV series. I've always liked Green Arrow. So, and I was on Green Arrow #1 since the New 52, but I dropped it until Jeff Lemire came on, and I was hearing such good reviews about it that I really wanted to check it out. But this current storyline, it's the Outsiders War, I have not read a single issue of, and there's 6, there's 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 issues. I think I have 1 at the comic book shop, and I haven't read them. It's not that I don't care, but with Forever Evil taking so long and doing all these tie-ins and crossovers and buying other books to go into a series and then getting into a weekly series, money starts drying up, and then getting, you know, action figures on top of it was really starting to put a hole in the wallet. And something that I, you know, absolutely re-fell in love with was comic books, was really starting to take a hit. Another book was Aquaman. Jeff Johns was on it and was writing a killer Aquaman. Really made Aquaman a character to for people using Aquaman as the butt of all the jokes in the DC. Aquaman was really becoming a badass, and I liked it. Then Jeff Parker took over for Jeff Johns, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, I don't know, you know, I'm not going to read Aquaman anymore." And I'm like, "Oh, I really like the Aquaman character." Well, guess what? I haven't read a single issue since Jeff Parker has taken over Aquaman, and I'm up to issue 31 is at my comic book store. So that was another book that I'm really kind of deciding on dropping, not because I don't like the character. A, it would save me $2.99, $3 basically, almost $7 between the two books, but I haven't read. Now, granted, I'm going to have these books forever. They're going to go in my comic book box, and I'll be able to read them at my leisure. But there is, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 months of books between these two titles that I haven't read. And I've been reading, you know, all my Bat books as soon as they come out, but these books I kind of put on my shelf and I want to read till later. So that's really kind of making me decide about trimming down my New 52 books. And I have 2 other ones here real quick, and this video may not mean anything to anybody else, but kind of getting asked, you know, what are you reading? Here's what I'm reading, and maybe here's some reasons why I'm not reading what I'm reading. Red Hood and the Outlaws. Now, some people may be kind of be booing at this book. Scott Lobdell was writing it, and it was kind of suffering the same fate as Teen Titans. James Tynion took over the book, and it started getting a little bit better. And I'm trying to remember the gentleman that's writing it now, if I have the book. Pfeiffer, I think his name. It's not Puff Pfeiffer. He's currently going to be writing the new Teen Titans book, and I have actually read 29 here. This was his first book in, and I like his writing style, so I think his writing style is going to be okay for the new Teen Titans book, again, that's going to be starting in July. But I was buying the Red Hood series, again, for the same reason I was buying Teen Titans and Nightwing, is that I'm a Robin fan, so I wanted to read what all of the former Robins were doing. And this book was always a struggle. I love Corey as a character, Starfire, and I love Roy Harper, Arsenal, as a character, and Jason Todd as well. But this book is trying so hard to be something completely different. It's not like every issue is taking place in Gotham City, and you know, it's you know, the Joker or the Penguin or whoever it is. There's 2 other characters that have a rogues gallery, and you have Jason that has this almost occult-like thing going on through him with the All Cast and being resurrected by Ra's al Ghul, that has some real spirituality, or I don't know if spirituality is the right word, but just mystic stuff going on in the book. And then you have Corey being an alien, so we have off-world stuff. So this book really kind of feels like it's trying to find its home. And unfortunately, I think Roy kind of ends up getting the shaft in the book. We either feature on Jason Todd, or we feature on Corey, and Roy Harper's along for the ride. And again, being a Green Arrow fan, I'm a fan of the sidekicks and Arsenal as well. So Jeff Lemire, I about said that wrong. Scott Lobdell is coming back to Red Hood and the Outlaws, and that is my official sign of I'm going to drop this book. As much as I like the Jason Todd character, at the end of the day, I have so many other good books that I'm reading. This is going to be one that I'm going to drop. Excuse me. And I've also been thinking about dropping Aquaman. Kind of what I'm thinking about doing with some of these books that I'm going to be dropping being Red Hood, Aquaman, and Green Arrow. Green Arrow I'm really on the fence for, but I'm now 6 issues back in Green Arrow, so I'm still going to have an issue later this week of Green Arrow that's going to be in my hold box that, you know, I'm not going to read because I'm, you know, out of sequence and all that type of stuff. So I think those are probably 3 books I'm going to end up dropping, just to save some time and save some money. Granted, I could continue to keep getting comic books, and then months down the line I could read them at my leisure, but I'm always going to be behind. One last book that I'm still on, and is a Superman book, is Superman Unchained, written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Jim Lee. A beautiful, beautiful book. This was celebrating Superman's 75th anniversary, and I think due in part to Jim Lee's schedule and him not being so on time with his books, it kind of has been setting the book back, so it hasn't been coming out monthly. It's just been coming out whenever it comes out. And I have not read a single issue yet. I did read issue 1 and thoroughly enjoyed it, but the book started getting later and later, and I decided I'm going to wait till the book is completely done, and it's going to go up to 9 issues and then will be canceled. I think they wanted to go actually 12, and they said, oh, we're going to go to 10, and then they actually decided that 9 was going to be its last issue. So I think it's really good. It's a cool way to celebrate Superman's 75th anniversary. Scott Snyder's been knocking it out of the park on the Batman book, so I thought, well, hey, it'd be really kind of cool to see how he writes Superman, and Batman ends up creeping into the book. So that's currently what I've been reading. There have been a few other books here and there. I have The World's Finest. Usually any book that has kind of tied into one of the other main books, I end up picking up. And I think that's kind of where things get a little bit expensive, and I think something that a lot of DC fans have, maybe not complaining is the wrong word, have been kind of upset that, I just want to read the Batman book, and maybe it almost feels like every month we have to tie in 3 or 4 other books. And in the Zero year, I've picked up stuff like Green Lantern Corps and Action Comics, and now I can't remember some of the other ones that were tied in. Batwing, I think, was in Zero year. Just putting a tie-in book just for the sake of tie-in. Again, it's a cash grab, and I'm going to get kind of suckered into it. I don't know if this video was helpful at all, but at least kind of currently what I'm reading. So when I do my Rob's reading room, you'll kind of know the books that I'll be talking about that I'll do. I'll wait for a whole entire arc. So I could do all the Red Hood books all in one shot here, or I could do Jeff Parker's Aquaman run when I'm done reading that. So again, we're talking about Batman Eternal on the Rogue Show, so I won't necessarily do that here. But I think once Scott Snyder wraps up his Zero year, I'll talk about that as a whole. And then in this week, the final issue of the Batman and series will go Batman and Ra's al Ghul is this a week. I'll do a Rob's Reading Room on the whole Batman and line that will be the search for the Hunt for Robin story. Then in July, the Robin Rises story will start, and that will start bringing in the first new, or I shouldn't say the first new, we'll bring in a new Robin, or a Robin will return depending on how that's worded. I've heard it worded both ways. There'll be a new Robin or bring back a Robin. I really hope it's Damian, for nothing more that there's already been, you've had Dick, Jason, Tim, and Damian, that's 4. You bring in a 5th Robin, you throw in the Earth 2 Robin, and Carrie Kelly, you were up to 7, and then maybe another new one, so it could be 8 Robins. It gets to be a little funny in a 5 to 6 year timeline that Batman is supposed to be operating in. Robin is literally almost the flavor of the week, so I hope they just bring back Damian and leave Damian alone and leave the rest of the Robins alone, since we've now have already lost Dick, which is a whole nother thing that I've talked about in the Nightwing series. So we've lost Damian already, and now Dick Grayson is going off on his own as Grayson. That was the other book that I was thinking about picking up as the Grayson series. I'm going to pick up issue 1 and kind of see how it is. Maybe finish out the arc, or I may just kind of drop it right there. I don't know if I'm necessarily tied to a Dick Grayson story as more as I would continue to keep reading a Nightwing story. So I guess I'm more partial to the superhero as more to the secret identity. Some people would say, oh, I'd read a Peter Parker book all day long and maybe just see a little bit of Spider-Man. I would have to disagree. I don't think if you ever saw Spider-Man in a book, or Hawkeye, or Captain America, or Superman, it was always Clark Kent or Steve Rogers. the book may get a little stale after a while, unless they do some type of James Bondian-ish, not bondage, a James Bond type story, then maybe it could work. That's why maybe I'm kind of going to give Grayson a chance, but we'll see. But that's kind of the update for my comic books. Some other updates as I'm looking around my room, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I just filmed my next set of Lego videos. I just filmed the Man-Bat Attacks, and I'm going to do another high-speed video of me putting that together, and I'll review that. I have also the Riddler and Batman dragster set that comes with the Flash. I did pick up some of the, I have out of my reach now, with the 3 3/4 lines. I do have the '89 Batman, and then another of the Power Attack Batman figures that I'm going to review. I've already finished the reviews that we've already seen for the Capullo series, and then I do have, I think in July, I think the Red Hood and the Outlaws from DC Collectibles will be coming out. And fingers crossed, I really, really hope those figures don't break and there's no QC things. So I've got those figures plus 2 figures in the Capullo Wave 2, and then a Tim Drake Red Robin figure. I cannot wait for that one, but I think he's an October figure. So that's going to wrap it up for me. That's the comic update. That's currently what I'm reading, what I'm not reading, and what I have to catch up on and are going to drop. So what are the books that you're reading? Are there some out of these lists? You know, is Red Hood and the Outlaw something that I should keep, or is it something that they're saying, Rob, why were you on it so long? Is Aquaman something I should continue to keep reading? A guy at my comic book store says, oh, continue to keep reading it. It's going to get good. Not that I don't think it's good. I'm just 5 issues behind. So let me know what you're thinking. What are you reading? What are you not reading? Or are you not reading the New 52? And maybe put up a video response and let me see kind of what you're reading, some of your thoughts on it. So this has been Rob for Rob's Rogues, and we'll see you on the next video. And I'm not sure what if it's going to be the Lego video or if it's going to be one of the 3 3/4 figures. I'll have to kind of decide depending on editing. But we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for comment, subscribing as you guys always do, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.